Alright, welcome to the next section. This one is going to cover, just a short one that's going to cover a little bit of info about the router. Okay, what you have, the choice that you have with a router is, and this one is very specific because I know most people have their own routers. So you would want to, you could have your own special router for this project, and I've often tried to do that, but that's a personal choice, the same as to whether you use fixed IP addresses or use DHCP. In other words, the router assigns you an IP address. These are two routers that I have got and used. You can see this is a little portable one. It's really quite nice because you can plug a 3G dongle in here, and so this thing can be completely portable. You can power it by a power bank, and so I actually have projects where I use this as a self-contained router. This is a more high-tech router that has obviously a number of ports, so it actually has your WAN and your LAN, and so you can, as I do, you can feed this into an upstream WAN or an upstream router that is now connected to your fiber or LTE or however you're getting your data. Okay. Then what I recommend is I've used this tool. This is for an Android phone. I imagine for Apple iPhones you would get similar type of device. What this allows you to do is to look on your network and be able to see what is on your router and what the IP address is. You can see as an example of what I've got running on some of the stuff on my router. So I recommend getting this tool. It allows you to do this LAN scan, and then you'll be able to see, especially if you're having the Raspberry Pi doing DHCP, the IP address can actually change all the time, and you need to know the IP address for you to be able to log in via your web browser and do whatever configuration you need to do. Here's an example page of the TP-Link, the router that I've got. You can see how the name of the SSID. So this you would have to configure both in the Raspberry Pi as well as in the D1 Minis. When they connect to the Wi-Fi, they'll need to know this SSID. If the Raspberry Pi is connected to the LAN, the nice thing about that is it would get assigned an IP address automatically. You can see here I've set mine up with the DHCP server, so that I only keep the low end of the addresses for the DHCP, and then I fixed IP anything above 50. So that means all my other devices can sit at a fixed address above 50, and then it allows 50 addresses to be assigned for any other dynamic connecting device like a cell phone or a laptop or something. And this is again, if you don't use that networking Android app, you'd need to log into the router, and this would give you an idea of the IP address of for instance the Raspberry Pi and whatever else is on your network. And then of course this is a bit of a zoomed in. You need to plug, have an Ethernet cable with your RJ45 on both ends, one plugged into the router and the other one plugged into the Ethernet jack of the Raspberry Pi 3. Alright, well, I think that's the end now of all the hardware. That's of section 2. In section 3 I will be getting into the interesting stuff, the fun stuff, the software. So I will start showing you how to set up the D1 Minis with ESP Home, how to flash them, and bringing the two of them online, and then obviously the setup of the Raspberry Pi with Docker and MQTT and InfluxDB, Grafana, all that stuff. So I'll see you in the next section.